Now, GPs across England are piloting a new computer programme aimed at speeding up the diagnosis of dementia. The £3.3 million project reduces the time taken to diagnose patients from an average 18 months to less than 3. The earlier the diagnosis, the better the treatment. And with more than 1 million expected to have the condition by 2021, the need for accurate and fast diagnosis couldn't be greater. If successful, the scheme could be rolled out across England by 2015, as our health and social care correspondent Victoria MacDonald reports.
We noticed a deterioration in memory and in behaviour in a way, but not in a way that was a problem. My dad was always a very strong character. You know, he was a journalist with Reuters. He was always in public relations, and so his mind was his sharpest tool. I think probably around 2006 we noticed a lot of forgetfulness and a lot of, not strange behaviour as such, but just more escalated behaviour, more confusion.
Shadia's late father, Nihad Auster, had, as it turned out, vascular dementia and Alzheimer's. A double whammy, as his daughter now says. But it took a year for that diagnosis to be made and another year before it was confirmed.
They did prescribe a course of treatment, but they said it was too far gone at that point for it to actually be of any use.
Sadly, these delays in diagnosis are common. Yet the sooner it happens, the more treatments there are available and the easier it is to deal with practical problems before it's too late.
Diagnosing dementia has always been notoriously difficult. Often the only tool to hand for GPs has literally been a pencil and paper, asking the patient to write down the exact date or a name and address. And once you've done that, then there are delays in getting scans and the blood tests. By the time you actually get that diagnosis, it can have taken months, if not years.
So now a £3 million pilot project, part government funded, has been launched in about 100 GP surgeries throughout England to see if this process can be speeded up. It's using this, a 10-minute test on a tablet computer, looking at a patient's emotional state, their memory and their ability to carry out daily tasks.
This is a summary of the memory side of things, showing that the individual performed less well than we would expect, given their age, educational value, and indicating that further assessment of their memories, such as referral to a specialist, would be indicated.
Dr Inglesfield has used this now on about 20 patients at his Surrey surgery.
The benefit of the new tool is that it allows us to do a more sophisticated test than we've been able to do before, and that's particularly useful in those patients who are concerned about their memory, but we think their memory is probably okay, and indeed when we test it we can reassure them fully that they do have normal memory function. Whereas before, the only way of doing that would have been to refer them on for specialist evaluation.
But there is a second part to this project. At the new Brain Health Centre in Sussex, Dr Dennis Chan is testing a piece of software. Attached to an MRI scanner, it more accurately and more speedily shows what type of dementia the patient has. Combining the scan and the GP memory test, diagnosis is taking less than 3 months.
On a purely personal level, the family and the individual need to know what that diagnosis is and what the future may hold. On a medical side, if there are any treatments to be applied, the sooner we diagnose, the sooner we can apply therapies.
The eventual aim is to be able to attach the programme to mobile MRI units, so patients can be scanned close to home rather than going to a specialist unit like this one.
This is my dad. He'd started to forget things.
Within a decade, 1 million people will have dementia in the UK, and already the care alone is costing more than £20 billion a year. So there is a degree of urgency attached to finding better ways of dealing with this often heartbreaking condition.
And that's it. We're back tomorrow at 7:30. Until then, that's Channel 4 News. Have a very good evening.